I'm David Reed, and this is The Engine Room. Hello and welcome back to Engine Room. We have a special guest today, Peder Sletfjerding.
Yeah.
Yes. That took some work on my part,
Yeah,
but
sure, good.
yeah, it's natural to use Sletfjerding, like Sletfjerding.
It's difficult in Norwegian as well.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not a common word?
No, not at all.
Yeah, not at all. Doesn't make sense.
No. Yeah, it makes some sense, but it's difficult to pronounce.
It feels like fjording is a thing to do, and you would Sletfjord,
Yeah.
but it's not what it is.
Yeah.
We already had that conversation, so I know it's not that, but great. So where were you born?
I'm born in Oslo, actually.
Oslo, I've heard of it.
I stayed 8 years around there
Yeah.
in a smaller city. But my hometown is Ålesund.
Ålesund, the
Yes.
big city of Norway.
Yeah, one of the not
I
so
call it
big.
I have
very
family
great.
in Ålesund,
Yes.
so
It's a great place, yeah.
It is
Yeah.
one of the most beautiful
Yeah,
places.
it is. It is.
It's a great visit. Yeah. So you grew up there. So you did all sorts of crazy things as a kid.
Yeah, quite a few things, yes.
I'm sure.
Yeah, most outside.
A lot of
skiing,
outdoors. Yeah.
Outdoor skiing.
A lot of mountains.
Mountaineering. Yeah.
It's all right there.
Yeah, it is.
It's
kind of,
it's like the Swiss Alps out your backyard.
Yeah.
Were you in the main town in Ålesund?
Yeah, 10 kilometers away
Okay.
outside. So most people live there, actually. So.
The weirdest thing I saw in Ålesund was winter, I want to call it nighttime surfing.
Okay.
You didn't even know that existed, but I saw it. People going surfing. We drove off to somewhere, and
Yeah.
people were
yeah,
surfing.
so
It was
on some
it
of the
wasn't-
islands
it
out
was
there. Yeah.
there was a bit of light, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
I'd call it nighttime.
Mm.
It was shocking, freezing.
Mm.
But I know from the family there, they do some wild things.
Mm. Yeah, in wintertime it's darker and more nighttime.
Yeah, so explain that for those who don't know. So wintertime looks like what?
Yeah.
Do you see the sun?
Yeah, we see the sun. Ålesund is not that far north.
But it's a hint
still
of
it's-
sun.
Yeah, we kind of, it's a hint of sun, yes. But like a normal work day, you will go to work in the dark and leave at 4 o'clock and it's
Still
still
dark.
dark. So
So,
if you're not outside during the day, you wouldn't see the light, actually.
Yeah. It just kind of turns up, and then it's like, okay, that's enough.
And due to the mountains, the sun will just go slightly above the mountains top, actually, in the south. So,
Yeah. Amazing.
Mm.
So that's that. So what did you do as a kid? I mean, I know mountain climbing, but did you have things you like to do, or?
Yeah, I'm doing music a lot, so I've been playing the clarinet in
Really?
some wind bands.
Classical,
yes.
jazz?
More classical, yes, like these wind bands, It's
Did
a
you-
school thing. Every school in Norway at least used to have their own band.
Yeah.
So, So
Did you play in parades and all
Yeah.
that stuff?
Yeah.
What is that date? The Norwegian?
17. Mai,
Yeah.
yes, and that parade as well. And
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
Yeah. So I had seen musicians. That's why I was thinking. Yeah, I bet you had to do that.
Mm.
Did you travel with the band?
Yeah, I did traveling a lot actually. So I've been around all over Norway actually for concerts and So,
All over?
Yeah.
Did you
up
play in
north
Oslo?
and- I played in Oslo as well, but not when I lived there. But later on,
Later. Yeah. Did you come to Kristiansand in those days?
Yeah, I remember some tour we had when I was kind of 10, 12.
Yeah.
Went to Dyreparken and
Yeah.
So that's very common actually for youngsters coming down here for such things. So,
That's amazing. You still play?
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For pleasure?
Yeah, we have this band again. Like we have 50 people
okay.
having rehearsals and do concerts.
So we could go see you in concert somewhere.
Yeah, or marching in the streets on 17. Mai. So
Yeah.
doing that as well.
Wow. So are you musical in general? You like music?
Yeah, I like music a lot. So
Yeah.
I listen to everything, almost everything. At
Almost
least,
everything. Everything except country and western.
Yeah, that's maybe through. I can live
You
through that as well.
You can do it too. Okay, because that's an extreme of the other side of classical.
Yeah, it is.
Are you a Peer Gynt fan?
Yeah.
I love Peer Gynt. That's my favorite. That's why I asked.
Okay.
I still want to see it in Oslo. I want to go see the whole thing performed.
Yeah. They have some nice performance up in the mountains in inland of Norway.
I don't want to hear the Hall of the Mountain King in the mountains. It sounds like that would be scary.
It's really nice. I've seen some. I've never been there, but it's very cozy on top of the mountains. Actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to look into that. Now I have to add that to my list.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. No, I like Grieg. Yeah. Grieg and the other Edvard Munch.
Yeah.
So I like paint as well. Are you into art or no? Do you like art?
Yeah. So I just recently was to the new Munch Museum in Oslo.
One.
Yeah, there's a new one in Oslo, just beside the opera. If you have been there.
Yeah. Well, I know. I think how new? When you say new, it was in the last 5 years, or?
No, opened last year, I think.
Okay, so I've got something to do. So you enjoy art. He's an incredible artist.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great story.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you paint?
No.
Maybe you should start.
Ah, that's too complicated.
It's too hard.
Stay with the music.
Okay. So you're up in Ålesund, quite a small community up there, and
40,000 people.
Yeah, but scattered a bit. Yeah. So
yeah.
That's good. And so through high school, what were you interested in?
So all time I've been interested in mathematics, physics.
Close connection.
So yes,
the mathematics to music. It's a.
Yeah, I know quite a few people that have that combination actually. So in a way, I'm not sure if. Yeah. That's.
I think they've discovered that there's a direct correlation to the structure and So mathematics was your jam.
Yeah, I can remember. I like the exact the right answer. You know, in mathematics you have one answer that's correct.
Yeah, you like that.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
During high school I did that type of studies like physics. Physics of course, and chemistry as well. So that was not that interesting.
Not as interesting as physics. No. Did you like mechanical things as a kid? Was that something that was?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked to see things how they work, but not really on a kind of a hands-on thing.
Okay.
It's more like I'm maybe a theoretical guy.
Yeah, give me the theory. I don't want to pull it apart.
Yeah, sure.
Were you a Lego man? Did you?
Yeah, I did Lego. I did my bicycle, but it's also small. But smaller parts, not the engines. Not
the big stuff.
No.
Okay. So then, did that lead you to what did you study?
I studied in Trondheim at university there, NTNU.
Yeah.
NTH it was called at that time.
Oh, okay.
And
you're one of the cool kids, NTH.
Yes.
Before everyone else.
Yes, before that. So I did computer science,
really?
moving into engineering cybernetics. I like cybernetics, that's mechatronics type of.
So were you kind of a computer nerd as a kid?
No, not really. It's just I wanted to understand that. And,
you knew there was a job at the end of that.
I learned a lot and it was kind of interesting. But it was the same study actually, the same faculty.
Yeah.
So then we had to decide what to specialize in, and then I ended up with cybernetics.
Nice.
Because the interest was more like getting things work, work with people actually to automate. And
had to look at the human interface.
Yes. Yes.
Big issue.
And talk to people about how this should work. And,
It's one of the most misunderstood things because you think we're going to automate everything. That'd be great, but it's more dangerous because the human involvement is different.
So I moved into robotics as well as a specialized thing. Even there were robots around in the late 80s as well. You know.
This was the 80s.
Yes.
Wow, that's a cool time to be around computers and robotics and. Yeah, very early and interesting. Yeah,
it was. I don't like to talk about that. That's so early, but still.
It was. There was a lot going on. I think transition-wise, I know when you get into the 90s and suddenly the computers just start to become normal. Whereas people today don't know that there was a time where there was no connection to that stuff. It was only very unique, very expensive.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it was expensive stuff and. Yeah, the first time at the university as well. We learned how to program on the PCs, the first PCs ever come
But you
around.
had to, because there was no program.
No, sure. So it was basic programming.
Yeah, the
actually.
only way you could do it was to make the computer do something.
Yeah.
There wasn't like a software you're going to download. You're going to write it.
Really different times.
Yeah. I was the same in college. We had to write our programs. I actually argued out of it, which I shouldn't have done. We kind of said we're going to need to learn to use programs, not write programs.
Yeah.
That was my theory. But that's great. Wow, what a time. So what did you do? What was your first job out of school?
The reason why I came to Kristiansand was that I got a job at Elkem. It's they're doing furnaces, ferrosilicon. So I moved there to the research center and did control systems for them. I had some special projects, really interesting for a new guy. So more on dedicated signal processing and a lot of programming and really get to know.
You were really becoming a geek. You may say you weren't, but you were.
I moved into a geek then. Sure.
You were adapting. It was just being invented in the 80s, the whole idea.
So a great time traveling around in Norway to the different plants they had here to install some software and user interfaces.
How fun! Fun. It was, and it moved so fast from there. Yeah, that would have been an interesting moment in time. Yeah, so how long did you do that with them?
That was 2.5 years, and then a friend of mine moved to the offshore business, like MH, the previous company, and he asked me to come over.
So, you were in MH.
Yes.
You were a red guy.
I was a red guy, yes. For some time, yes.
Yeah. Really? So you did that for a while. So when it was this small group, I mean, I remember the photograph from outside the building. I guess it was this building, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because I remember that. Look, it wasn't that big of a group.
No, it was. When I started, we were, I think, about 100 people.
Yeah.
Doing all types of offshore equipment,
top
drives, pipe
handling, pipe handling, hole-in-one.
The hole-in-one project was really a good one. Yeah.
You didn't know that I knew, did you?
No. That was one of the kind.
Yeah.
I was actually on the rig.
Were you really?
Yes, doing some following up actually. I didn't do the commissioning, but still,
That was wild. A big gantry crane with an arm that pulled through the middle of it. Yeah,
great. A stabbed casing directly in well center.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
It was really a success.
It was it?
Yeah.
I would always say it was terrible and it never worked because I was selling against you.
That was really a good machine. They created it during summer, I think. I was on vacation, but the other guys, they just put it together in a few weeks.
What rig did it go
on? Heimdal.
Okay.
It was a fixed platform in NRC. That's gone away now. So they had a specific job running casing or pulling casing actually and running casing.
It was the early. I think what people don't know is as we went up to the 90s, we started doing all these experiments with pipe handling. And ultimately became law about 94 that we had to just do pipe handling up to 20-inch on every application. But it was because of projects like that that the Norwegian authorities were like, we can do this. Like this, we could have people not touch pipe. So a lot of wild things happened in those days.
Yeah, I was a part of that because we had this pipe handling systems with synchronous control, almost robotic.
You were the first really to do robotic sync with the two arms, right?
Yes,
the upper and lower. Were you doing that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I was.
That was you? Okay, now I'm impressed.
I was part of it though, not me alone.
You didn't invent it all, but let's pretend you're an American.
So I was like a guy. I was 3 weeks offshore to commissioning this on. It was Sovereign Explorer.
Yes, it was. Oh my goodness! So I remember losing that job. That was very painful for me. But you had those spears. Were you using spears for the fingerboard? Yeah, good times. We tried chains for a while. It was a terrible idea, but. We tried different things.
But the spears was not that a big idea as well. But
it was simple. Everyone was trying to be simple. But that's we'll talk offline about all that stuff. We haven't started, but because that's my era and all that stuff. So I was watching you guys and we were trying to do our stuff. Yeah, that was a really cool era. But you got two arms to sync together to rack pipe, which
And we used delicate servo valves. That
Yes.
was moved away from that because we
That's
didn't
right.
really need it, but still it was there.
A little bit finicky, a little bit.
Yeah.
Had issues with servos. We did a bit of that. I think someone probably saw yours and went, we should do servos.
Yeah.
Because I think we built 2 machines and we ended up taking them off and
Yeah.
went to straight hydraulic over
so as well.
hydraulic. too finicky. Yeah, there was a lot of early automation was really not quite ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we tried a lot of things. We had a steady state computer we were working. It was we'd made it ourselves, which not a good idea, but that was those days.
Yeah.
Well, fascinating. That's great. So when did you come over to the yellow side? I was going to say away from the dark side, but that's probably
Yeah. I was as
maybe
late
were you
as-
just in the building and they all turned up and you're like, I guess I'll stay here.
No, I moved over to the other building.
Okay.
So
Just checking.
I got back here. I got here in 2006.
Yeah.
So then I had kind of been working with almost all the different drilling equipment within controls.
Yeah.
But then I was asked to join the project department here.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that was my opportunity, kind of
Do something
get away from the geek stuff, like.
Yeah.
So
It's a wise career move.
Yeah,
Because
so-
I had the same. Like you're in it,
Yeah.
but you love it, and then you're like, maybe if I didn't do so much of this,
Yeah.
it'd be
So,
better.
yeah.
You know.
So I was in the project department, technical manager, working with the early projects with Samsung,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
like Peder,
Yeah.
Saipem.
Yeah. Saipem 10,000.
12.
Or the 12.
10,000 was the model of
Yeah.
all the Samsung drill ships.
And everything that
afterwards.
followed.
Yes,
Yeah.
So, yeah, and Transocean a little bit as well.
Yeah. What a lot of experience. So you worked with everybody on all sorts of things.
Yeah. Discussed with all the engineers around.
But you were on the early projects, so lots of pain,
Yeah. So
lots of late, lots of.
contracts discussions, very interesting with Petrobras and
Yeah.
Saipem especially. Details in the contracts that were kind of vague, and it's a lot of fun.
Couldn't cost us lots of money in the end. It was painful, a lot of these projects.
Yeah. But I think
We learned.
but in the end it was really good.
Fantastic in the end. But it was the early days was a lot of learning of how to do these things.
Yeah, and we were a great team here, like very concentrated. We had our own area. We kind of all the guys were working on different projects. We start getting in very quickly. Suddenly we had 10 projects.
It felt like a startup, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it felt like I knew this is all. It was a startup.
Yeah, and it was.
Just came from nothing to Njord.
Oh.
Right. I remember. Were you around there, or was it you came after?
I come after Njord.
Yeah. Njord was the big.
Yeah.
The big deal that made Hydrolift become something, you know, a big rig package.
And I was on the other side because there was two rigs together, Njord
right.
and Valhall, was it?
Yeah, the same time, yeah. It was around the same time, Poly Porsche. It was a bunch of like 3 or 4 packages going, because in those days that was the total count of packages in the world.
It
wasn't hundreds, it was like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Then we thought we were really busy.
Yeah, and then
we found out.
Come along.
Then we found out what really busy looks like. Amazing.
Sure.
So that's great. What a great journey and career. Yeah. What have you liked the most on that journey?
Oh, it's a combination of everything actually. I think I've been doing a lot of different stuff and I like it all.
You like the variability
yes,
of
the
stuff.
variability, yes.
And you've changed your career on the journey. I mean, you've been in controls and you've gone to projects. And
and then I still use my knowledge in controls for all the words. I know I have experience from most of the equipment. I know still how they work. They haven't changed that much since that.
Well,
time,
I think once we went into the ramp up, I mean, not everyone understands, but before every rig had changed. There was a new design every time. That's how you got a job, which you look more interesting than the next guy. But when we went to the ramp up, it was like we need to just do a few things because it was hard to execute.
So these days it's into controls. Controls is a very important part.
Is that what you do now, or you?
What I do now is I'm managing the Norwegian part of the robotics and automation initiative.
The coolest thing in the company.
You're quite cool,
Yeah, quite cool. I mean, I started in robots a long time ago, but sure, you got
back to robotics now.
Yeah,
it's
back
really
to
great.
robotics.
It's really great, but it's a different world, of course. It's software is different, the way of working is different, but still exciting. So So and we work closely together with the American team.
Yeah.
They have a similar development
Scottish
team over
American
there.
team.
Yeah,
I'm just laughing, Andy. Well,
So,
not all
yeah.
American.
Yeah,
but
so I work with Andy, of course. He's my manager, and they have a development team in US as well, and we are working closer together to make a similar system or a common system.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you're doing some of the heavy lifting, I would have said, on your machines. They're pushing and pulling, but you're doing some more complex things.
Yeah, we are doing. They started with focusing on what they need offshore, and that's mainly replacing manual handling. So we have been focused on that. But on the land rig, they have been focusing on kind of automate the pipe handling, actually, similar to what we have on the big machines offshore.
Yeah, but I describe it as doing what the humans do, whereas the machines we made over the years were not doing what humans could do. So it's just repeating the human task, which is kind of different, even though we maybe should have done that in the beginning.
Yeah, but still, on the land rig, you get space for these smaller robots. You don't have space for these big machines.
That's right. So, it pushed us into a corner, really. Yeah.
And we are not making robots to lift heavy things. We are just guiding. So that's the difference, main difference between pipe handling offshore and onshore.
So robots doing humans' work.
Yeah. So and that's kind of complicated to make it because the humans are so good at doing
little fine things. Yeah. So no, it's been an incredible journey. The new stuff, because it is the cutting edge of where we are. So that's exciting. Well, good. So your expertise, if someone was to call you and ask you, for help with something, what's a good thing that you are good for calling?
Technically, I'm a kind of a generalist. I know I have experience from a lot of different disciplines and equipment.
And any history on anything offshore?
Yeah, a lot of.
Yeah, you have a lot of knowledge.
And then also my work has included a lot of people around, so I know a lot where to find people to help people to find their way in the organization, actually. So.
Yeah, which is when you come in, that's one of the big things.
Yeah. So,
and I'm sure you do. Are you good at telling people about the old systems, or do you just not?
No, I tell them about the old system, but not really like we did it better earlier.
Yeah.
That could be easy, but now we need to move on.
But I think we learned a lot. I think it's a good thing to be able to share. People will go and make the same mistakes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you learn a lot when you do mistakes.
Yes,
so
it's called learning.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's great. All right. I think that's it. I think we've got everything covered. So,
okay.
Thanks for coming, and hope to have you back soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.